I want to talk about three things that I've noticed for myself are a pattern when I'm trying to talk to people about the current state of things, and there tends to be like a barrier to them understanding. These are some of the themes that I found, and I want to link in two articles that I read over the last couple of weeks that are tied into this. I'm going to read a snippet from one of the articles that I'm talking about. It's Eric Morrison-Smith, Notes from a Black Revolutionary on Substack. In 2018, I visited Cuba for 3 weeks, not with an organization or a delegation, but with someone whose family was from the island. That trip changed me. At the time, I was just beginning my political journey. I'd read a lot of theories about revolution and about how we move beyond the deeply individualistic and capitalist logic of the United States, but I didn't yet understand what any of it looked like in practice. And I definitely didn't understand Cuba. I didn't understand its history with colonization or the role of US imperialism in shaping everyday life there. The three things that I look at: one, do they have a diverse group of friends? I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory, but essentially, if you don't have a diverse group of friends, you're looking at the world as just replication of your point of view. That's all you're seeing, the same thing over and over again. The last two do have privilege attached to it. One being furthering your education. You know, if you go to a university in a city and you've got other people from other walks of life who are in the city, now you're sitting in rooms talking about ideas, sharing ideas, debating ideas with people from different walks of life from you that like challenge it, right? I was doing projects with people like I didn't know about the Faroe Islands. I ended up doing a project with a woman from there, and then Eritrea, same thing, did not know. It opens your mind, it opens your perspective. The last one being travel. Again, I know there's privilege attached to it, but I also know people who refuse to. I know people who have the means to travel, but will only go to pockets where they can do essentially what they can do here elsewhere, right? Like I'm going to go travel to this other country, but I'm going to stay on this resort. I want the things that look and feel familiar to what I do now. For example, I went to Jamaica and this lovely lady picks me up from baggage claim and she's, we're just making conversation. She's like, "Oh, have you been to Jamaica before?" And I was like, "I haven't. Have you ever been to anywhere in the US? Because I'm a dum dum." And she's like, "No, that's not how that works. There's like a whole visa application. They actually don't approve visas very often. So it's very difficult to travel to there." And I was like, "Oh," not realizing the privilege I have with having this passport and how I'm able to like freely travel. Don't even get me started on what I found out about the privatization of their beaches and who owns all the resorts that like privatized all of it so they don't even have access to their own beaches. And I wouldn't have known that had I not traveled. And to me, very simply, those three things help people humanize other people. Like it's a weird thing that I have to say that and we have to do that, but it is the truth of the matter. When you look at everything that's happening, how we look away from things, how things are accepted, it's we haven't humanized. It doesn't feel the same to what's happening to them that it does to us. And all these pieces help bring life to that. And the reason I bring up these two articles, one was written by Gabriel Teodros, the other one is this one by Eric Morrison-Smith. Both were their experiences traveling to Cuba. So when I talk about privilege, being like, okay, you have the means to have the education, right, to further the education, you have the means to go travel. When we can't do those things, there's other ways that we can kind of like help expand our experience, help provide some of that humanization. And it goes to like, we have to go seek out this stuff. And I haven't been to Cuba, and I read both of these and they hit me in my heart because it was about the people, it was about the travel and the experience. And I think it was written so well. So I highly, highly encourage you guys to go read it. And I'm going to end this with another snippet from Notes from a Black Revolutionary. What stayed with me most from this trip is the contradiction. A country under immense pressure, economically strangled, facing shortages, navigating crisis after crisis, and yet still holding on to a collective sense of life, of dignity, of responsibility to one another. The first time I went to Cuba, I saw its beauty, its people, its culture, its way of life. This time I saw something else, the ugliness of US imperialism. The first time I came, I felt something I didn't yet have a language for. This time I understand what I'm seeing. Not imperialism in theory, but the material reality it produces, showing up in hospital rooms, in schools, in community spaces, and in determining whether a child gets life-saving surgery at all.